What's up, guys? So you just saw my posing. I went to my family's house. I do check-ins there just because the lighting's really good. And once you're stuck to a lighting, you always want to stick to the same lighting every week. But we got that done, and we are 9 days out today, and it's so exciting because we're starting linear loading today. Nothing crazy, but just a small shift in carbs. I'm having 50 grams extra of rice, and yeah, that's just going to allow me to start to begin the process of filling up and alleviating fatigue. Steps have been reduced by 5,000 as well. Yeah, I'm really happy with the physique that you just saw. The fat loss has been achieved. Like, I'm right where I need to be now in terms of the qualifier, the condition I want for that show. Now it's just a case of filling up, which is exciting. But you can see today, like, that look is a very, very flat look, and that is the reality of being shredded. When you need to get this lean, you run flat, and you got to just accept it. You're going to look worse. You look worse to look your best at the end of it, and we're going to see that change over the next week of carbing up. But carbing up has started, and yeah, this is literally, well, we're 9 days out, so we're moving into the week out vlog. Yeah, it's just surreal because this prep has been a long prep, 25 weeks, but at the same time, it's just flown by. It's crazy. Once you're doing the same thing over and over again, time just flies by. So yeah, just super excited now. I'm about to have my pre-workout meal, cream of rice, the usual, 25 grams extra though, which is really nice. And then we're gonna go train push. I'm gonna do a voiceover, and then afterwards, stay tuned because we're gonna discuss the reality of being shredded, what it actually means and why it's not as glamorous and cool as people think, and why you don't really want to spend very long here if you are shredded, and it's not really worth it. It's overrated in my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna eat my pre-workout meal. I'm starving, so I'm gonna get that down and chill out a bit, watch some YouTube, and get in that pre-training mindset before I train.
Think about it, boy, you gon' think about me.
Just got to the coach, and yeah, now I can actually talk to you guys properly without sounding like an absolute twat, because I've got some carbs and caffeine in my system. So yeah, training push. This is going to be a voiceover. Haven't done one in a while, and I'm really excited to train because I love reversing. I love reversing food for clients as a coach, because even though, right, I've had 25 grams extra of cream of rice, it's not going to do anything, right? Like, scientifically, and also I had it like an hour ago, so it's not going to take effect in the slightest. However, just saying the word, "oh, I'm reversing," it's just mentally you're going into the gym, you're like, right, let's go, like, let's get after this and give everything, and I'm going to work even harder now, knowing that I've putting these carbs to good use. That's the plan. And yeah, I'm going to think that I'm full, even though I won't be, I'll be flat. But mentally, it flicks a switch when you get to that point where you can finally reverse food, and you get the benefits of it, naturally more neat, fidgeting, all that. So it's going to be a very good session, and I cannot wait. So 9 days out, let's get it. We are back with another voiceover, and this one is a little different. There's been a slight delay since the video was filmed. It's been a few days now, and we're currently sitting at 5 days out, which is really exciting. I'll be filming tomorrow, so we're going to film the 5 days out sort of vlog, well, 4 days out vlog tomorrow, which is going to be exciting. But yeah, that delay is actually pretty useful because it means I can talk a lot about a few things that have just happened, and because there's been a slight spanner in the works in terms of my prep, but nothing crazy. But I'll talk about I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, firstly, yeah, this was a really good push session. Just doing the work here with the final stage of fat loss. Just trying to preserve tissue before we carb up and linear load and just hold movements out. This is literally me at my worst in terms of how I'm feeling and my ability to perform. So the variables aren't in my favour yet. I feel like I did a pretty decent job of holding performance, so I'm very happy with that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this session. It was tough. It hurt like hell. I'm at that point. Food is low, energy is low, your brain hurts every set. but we got it done, and yeah, Charlie was really supportive and just helping me out as well, which was nice. But these are the rough sessions, you know, when you're like 2 weeks out and you're just reaching carbon up, but you haven't quite reached that stage yet, and you know, you can see it in my face there, it just hurts. But yeah, so this last few days has been tough because I had a stomach bug, and yeah, so 2 days ago in the night I woke up. So I think we were 7 days out. I woke up in the middle of the night and I just felt weird. And usually I wake up around this time with hunger pains. And I thought, yeah, maybe these are just really bad hunger pains making me feel ill. And I was like, oh God, I really don't feel good. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and sort this out. So I tried to make myself throw up, and I did that. And then yeah, I didn't feel that much better. A few hours later, I was just finally throwing up loads of fluid. Couldn't hold any water. Couldn't really eat. Couldn't hold food. We had roughly 600 calories that day and about 2 liters of fluid. The next day, body weight was only down by like 0.3 kilos because AJ very rightfully told me to move at literally minimal movement, just keep my feet up and just rest. And that's what I did. I hit like 2,000 steps on my ring, and luckily due to that, you know, I didn't drop too much. And miraculously, a day later, you know, I had a good sleep. I woke up feeling quite a bit better. Food was digesting. We took an extra day off, so I took another rest day, and food was holding. We just stuck to rice and just turkey mince and foods that were sensible, foods that I could digest well. And luckily I woke up at around, you know, 0.1 kilos up. I got about 5 liters of fluid down, so still a little bit less fluid than what I'm usually used to, but we are in a much better position. And today I trained legs successfully, feeling pretty good, not 100%, but I'm a lot better. Miraculously have recovered very, very quick. So yeah, we are back to carbon up now. Nothing's really changed in terms of the physique and stuff because we're still very flat, but it's just delayed the carbon up process. You know, you're not going to lose tissue. I was panicking to AJ, you know, he was stressing to me what I already knew, but you know, it's hard when it's yourself. You worry. He was saying like, you're not going to lose tissue in a day. It's like a 3-day process of under eating and not training where you're going to start to then see things regress. So yeah, it's just flatness, and we're fighting the flatness now. We are 5 days out, plenty of time to carb up now, which we're going to start doing. But yeah, so that is just an update on the disruption, the first real disruption this whole prep. It's been a very smooth prep, you know, so, and I feel like I've held my muscle pretty well. So I was saying, it's like if I lose a little bit of muscle, I guess it's not the end of the world, and we'll regain it coming out of the qualifier into the finals. But I'm not losing muscle, you know, you can't lose muscle over a day anyway. So yeah, we've got through that, and I'm just so glad to be, you know, out on the straight and narrow now and feeling a lot better, and just ready to enjoy the next 5 days, you know, carbing up and filling out and see my physique come to life. I cannot wait. I feel like, you know, when you diet for a long period of time and you run flat for a long period of time, you almost forget what you look like actually all the way full. You know, when you're like 600 carbs down and in an off season, you know, you're always full. When you're in prep, if it's ran right and you don't need that many refeeds because you're losing at a very steady rate, you kind of forget what it looks like to be full. So I can't wait. But yeah, anyway, the session. So as you've seen, a high incline, then the vertical press, which is an awesome piece of kit, and then the fly, which is again an amazing piece of kit. And then now we're just on to cuff laterals. And we're just really, I'm just trying to get everything out of this movement. I'm thinking, look, we're so close now. Let's just get everything out of the lateral deltoid. My face says it there as well. Like, just really trying to put everything into this now, because like I said, it's so close to carbon up, hardest part. But you'll find when you're on prep and you're really, really low on energy and food is low and you're in that last stage, you're naturally just, you don't want to move, you don't want to fidget much, you don't want to do that extra bit of movement you do when you're telling yourself, oh, I'm eating a lot of food. It's just mentally, it's just not there. That's when you really need to fight against it and just keep moving, keep putting an effort in. Because if you keep your NEAT, your non-exercise activity, up at the same rate at which it was when your food was high, when your food is low, then that's what's going to achieve very good fat loss. And that's the goal right now. You know,
I want to, not now, but at this point in time, you know, there was a little bit more I wanted to pull off and get leaner for the qualifier just to really seal the deal. I wanted to get into the 73s, which we achieved, you know. A few days ago, we hit 73.7 kgs for the qualifier. Myself and AJ said like 73s for the qualifier, and then into the 71s for the finals will be sort of perfect, but maybe not even the 71s. You know, you should never set like an actual scale weight to dictate. You know, we're not chasing a number here. It's all about the visual look. So don't get bogged down in wanting just to be a number. But I kind of contradict myself here and saying like I am relieved to see myself creep into the 73s. It's just, you know, I know we've got where I need to be, and I was correct in the sense that the visual look sort of aligned with that. I knew that the visual look would be where it would be, where I'd want it to be when I reach 73 kilos. I'm not really sure what myself and Charlie are doing here. We're just looking at something on the phone, but yeah, one arm push down is really, really good movement when you're dieting. I think I spoke about this before, but I'll talk about it again just because I'm locked in and I'm able to hold onto that seat. The Cybex Bravo always provides the best setup for any movement, really, any cable movement, just because of that middle seat thing and how stable I am utilizing it. It's really, really good. So yeah, we're just finishing up here, and yeah, I think you'll see me posing in a sec as well. So I actually think I'm a bit fuller in this than right now, because of how flat I am due to the stomach bug. But you'll see. But I think in the next couple of days we'll be easily surpassing that look. So yeah, I am just so excited now to step on stage. I can't wait. I can't wait to step on stage and just be able to pose and not cramp up and be like heavily dehydrated and stressed. That's always been the case with all the shows I've done because of like very old school techniques that have been applied on myself by previous coaches, and I don't believe in them. You know, you don't want to cut water. You need to keep water where it is, and because it just tires you out. It tires you out when you want to when you want to enjoy being on stage. Why do you want your brain completely dehydrated? You know, it doesn't make any sense to cut water completely. You need fluid to hold fullness. You need fluid to look big and lean. And I'm just so excited to step on stage for the first time in this way and enjoy it. Because the last time I stepped on stage, my quad was literally cramping up like crazy. I couldn't even tense my quad properly. It was ridiculous. Right, so anyway, yeah, this is the look. Obviously, you saw the update this morning, but I think this lighting is always a better way of determining where I'm at. I think, you know, post session as well, it's going to be a very similar time. So this is always something if you're trying to prep someone, you know, run data on someone at a similar time to when they're stepping on stage. That's where the most important data is sort of picked up. This is a similar time to when I'm going to compete, so it's very useful, and the look is better. You know, I've got a bit, like I said about fluid, I've got more fluid in me. I look fuller, I look bigger, the pump's good, and I look leaner as a result. It's a pretty good look, and I have a very adaptive metabolism, so I really, when we push carbs up, I just get a lot leaner. When we flatten out, I get a lot softer. So it's very exciting. I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, wow, like I'm flatter than this right now. So it's just exciting to think like what's going to happen in the next 2 days. I think when we push carbs. Carbs today are at 400 grams, so we're getting a bit more assertive now. Right, I think here they were at like 300. So things are going to change pretty drastically. God, it is not a good look when your boxes don't fit. Literally all my boxes don't fit right now. That is a trouble. So I can't win, and I'm just posing, and it's like Charlie's almost gonna see my dick, which is not what I want from this. But yeah, this is almost the final look in terms of fat loss. So I'm a little bit lean. I am leaner than this right now, which is exciting because I think even if I stepped on stage looking like this in terms of fat loss, I'd be happy. You've got to be mindful for the finals. Something else to think about when you're prepping a client is if you know that, you know, if you're confident in their ability to reach the finals, be mindful of that and don't push them too hard into the qualifier, because let them improve into the finals and not sacrifice so much tissue by being super, super lean already at the qualifier. Because any leaner than this is when things get tricky, you know, it's when things get hard. In terms of deadlifting, you know, there's not much fat around my glutes anymore, you know, there's no stability there to really perform anymore. And it gets trickier and trickier in terms of retaining tissue. Yes, you can execute things well, but it gets tricky. So yeah, I think this is almost coming to an end now. So after this video, you're going to hear myself and Ruby discussing why you do not want to be shredded. Bit contradictory when I'm shredded right here, but why being shredded is overrated, the reality of it, the truths, why it's great when you're competing, but not if you're not, like it's not worth it. And it's not optimal, and it can disrupt a lot of things in your life, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to be honest, because I always want to be honest on YouTube. So yeah, that is going to be the next clip. Enjoy that, and thank you for watching this voiceover, and I'll see you in the next clip.
So hey guys, the biggest topic of this video is about why being shredded is overrated, and why there's quite a few truths about being shredded, and how if I wasn't competing, I wouldn't be spending time looking like this. And I've got Ruby on here to talk about it as well, because it adds an interesting perspective about like what your other half thinks of abs, and when you're shredded, and what comes with that, and why it is overrated. She always says she prefers the bulky look. When I'm fluffy Adam, that's what she prefers. And I think that's the truth. And you grow up looking at magazines of people having abs and looking shredded, and you think it's like the biggest goal. And from someone who's been lean quite a few times, competing, I can tell you now, it is overrated. It's nothing special. It's not going to get you anywhere in life unless you're competing. If you're competing, yeah, it's worth it because you've got goals to compete. But other than that, being ripped, I'm talking like ripped, it's not worth it. And there's a few different reasons why. And the first one, and the least serious one, is training. Your training is going to take a massive hit when you are shredded. You can't perform in the gym. You will not put on muscle. You will not grow muscle tissue. And if you want to make progress and really change your physique to a point where it's impressive, and like people, and like Ruby said, she prefers fluffy, bulky Adam. People prefer that look when you've got a lot of muscle. There's no point dieting and getting shredded if you've got no muscle. And if you want to put on muscle, do not be shredded, because you're not going to get stronger in the gym and make progress and build muscle. So that's the first point. And especially if you're natural, it's even harder. So don't waste time being lean. The second thing is your lifestyle will take a massive hit. So obviously I'm going to discuss later on with Ruby about relationships, but firstly, your social life. When you're shredded, you can't drink alcohol because it's calories. It also creates a massive stress on the body, so you won't be able to cope with that stress from drinking alcohol. You won't be able to go out and be away from the kitchen and be far away from food. You won't be able to go on holidays with friends and stick to your diet, because unless you're competing, because if you do and you've got this massive amount of food focus, you're gonna cheat on your diet inevitably, and if you don't, you're gonna hate your life, and you're gonna have food envy of all your friends. I've been there. I've been there. So your social life takes a hit. You won't be seeing friends like you usually do, especially when you're shredded and your energy's so low. You want to do these things, but then the thought of it will be daunting. You won't want to go to a festival. You won't want to go out all day because you'll feel tired, and you won't feel yourself whilst everyone else is feeling themselves, and they can't relate to it as well. So yeah, your lifestyle will take a massive hit. And the third point, which is a little bit more of a serious one, is hormones. So you're like physically you'll be massively affected, especially when you're natural. Your hormones will be massively implicated. Your libido will go down, so your sex drive will be very low, and you won't feel yourself. You will feel hormonally affected massively. Your testosterone will be really low, so you won't be feeling like yourself, and that relates back to my previous point about training. If your test is low, how are you going to perform in the gym? Then you're going to have hunger hormones that go through the roof. Your ghrelin, your leptin. These are hormones telling your body to eat, because what you're doing isn't healthy. It wants you to eat food. So these hormones get higher, and that means food tastes incredible, which is fun, but it's not good when you can't eat the foods you want to eat. and it makes you want to binge, and it makes you want to eat loads of food. So it's harder to control that food focus. So you get higher food focus where you think about food all the time, and you just generally are just really hungry. Like before your meals, you're hungry, and that will affect your mood. So that's another point. Your mental sort of state, your mood will be massively affected. You'll have mood swings. You may take that out on people around you.
Sorry.
I told us to not go in on me too much in this video.
I was like, what degree of of talking are we talking? Because I've got loads to say. No, I'm joking.
So, so your mood will take a hit. Now, I've really made it a massive priority this prep to be calm and not allow my hunger to get the better of me, and I think I've achieved that really well. But past preps, it's been a lot worse.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's just because you're hungry, and your body again it's that fight or flight mode it's in because it thinks it's starving to death. So you get this, your body doesn't know what's happening, and its response is to be agitated. And your mental state isn't there as well with like appreciating how you look. You get body dysmorphia massively. I was actually scrolling through my camera roll last night, and I saw a video of me speaking like in May, and I was like, what? I thought I was like in a really good condition, like healthy state, and my face looks so puffy because I've just been like using myself so lean. Now the other end of it I think looks really fat when it's not. And I think for some people, coming out of a diet when you're shredded and then gaining body fat can be really, really daunting. Your mental state can be all over the place. You can get prep brain, so you can just like, you just don't, like I said, body dysmorphia, so your eye isn't there, you don't know how you're looking, and that's when you need a coach. You can just get very nervous about the show, and will you be ready, all these different things. But the main point is, I'm all for getting lean, but if you're not competing, there's a point where you stop and you're where you need to be before you can start a growing phase. Don't get any further in it, and don't waste time being shredded because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And the last point is relationships and how that will affect things as well. So I'll let you speak about this one. Because
what do you want to know?
I don't know, just tell them like how the biggest thing is how it affects your partner, and because there's always the bodybuilder prepping, but the partner is also essentially prepping.
Yeah.
And you've been on a prep.
I definitely think that now that it's my second prep, being with Adam, last prep I was heavily pregnant, which was a lot worse. Because to be fair, I was eating like 2,000 calories a day of chocolate, just in chocolate.
And magnums
and like ice creams. But that being said, when I was pregnant, even like eating a piece of toast with butter on would trigger Adam. But he didn't have like the best.
It was a harsh prep.
It was a harsh prep.
I was on low carbs.
That was not the best, like controlled by a coach.
We were at two extremes.
So that being my first prep going through with Adam, I pretty much then was a prep hater, not gonna lie, and thought, God, I don't think I can go through this another prep again. So when he told me he was competing, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
But this prep, I feel like I've had a taste of like what a healthy,
like a balance,
balanced
like a hard prep,
is.
but how as hard as it needs to get.
Yeah. So like it's been hard. I definitely think as a partner, like you kind of say bye to your partner and send them on this like la la land trip for fucking 7 months or whatever it is. Is it 6 months or 7 months? 6 months.
6 months.
6 months. And they just check out. They're in prep land. But The only thing I would say is we went to Wagamama's the other day and Adam brought his like chicken obviously in his prep container. But just sitting across from him in a restaurant felt so weird.
Yeah,
Doesn't it? Like, it feels so weird. And I do think as a partner it's okay to accept and like to speak about how like you kind of have to be a bit jealous of people who you see around that are in like normal couples who can go out for food. But the one thing that I've now got better at, now it's been my second prep round, is keeping like in the forefront of my mind, he's on prep and it's gonna end.
Yeah,
the last prep,
there's
because
light
it was
in
my
the tunnel.
first one, it felt like it was just never gonna end.
You've got to show
Whereas-
your partner there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, you have to
make
have
sure
some-
you enjoy the off season and you go out for food
Yeah.
and do these things. If
You
you don't
need
give
to
them
show them that.
then there's no point in the partner really staying. Like,
No.
and even if you're both bodybuilders, I think you need to tell each other for your own need, like there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I couldn't do this for my whole life and like be on this regimented like no off plan meals, not going on holiday. Whilst I love it, like you need balance and
Yeah.
yeah.
And especially now since we've had a baby, I feel like, so Adam's been on prep for a while. I've actually been on a holiday with our son, with Adam's family on our own. Adam stayed in the UK and we went to Italy. And that's just purely because he was on prep. He couldn't be around all the food we were eating at the hotel.
Yeah.
And like didn't want to put himself through that. But
Well, you just can't. Yeah, you can't.
you just got to think about like when you're on prep, there's no point staying lean if there's no reason for you to stay this lean, because missing out on actual life, like you're not going to look back and be like on your deathbed, oh I was so
Yeah,
happy.
you can't go to hotels and on holiday and just stay shredded.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
you are, you're not enjoying your holidays.
Yeah.
So.
But you
But
can't. You won't look back at when you're like 90 and be like, "Oh, I was so happy then because I was so lean." You'll be like, "Oh, I was so happy then because I went to Italy with my son." I feel like unless you have a competition or something you're genuinely working towards, and there's an end date and it's not for forever, then don't just be lean just for the sake of it. You know,
Yeah, it's
just for
not worth
shits and giggles. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. If I see any bodybuilder girlfriends and like I meet anyone who's a girlfriend of a bodybuilder, I instantly feel like we connect. We get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially like when Adam comes home from the gym, and he hasn't had carbs yet, or he hasn't had any meal yet, and I just know like, defo, don't
the
ask
worst
him any
part,
questions.
Yeah. So on that note, yeah, do not waste time being shredded.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I thought, you know, I always really believe in being honest and just saying it how it is and not just like, I don't want this YouTube just to be me like at the gym, just like hiding behind like a sort of, like I want to be honest and tell you the truth about things and provide you my perspective on things, because I think that's really important, like showing you guys like what I think and my opinion on it. Everyone can have a different opinion, but this is just mine. And I know that when I'm done competing, I'm going to stay in like a nice, healthy, like a lean, but not a shredded body fat whatsoever. And I'm going to be enjoying life, eating pizza, having a couple of beers, and going on holidays, you know, when I'm in my 40s, and just having that balance. Not that I don't have that now, but that's going to be like...
Even better.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Drop a like if you haven't already. And yeah, we are so close now for the final push, and it is really exciting. I'll see you in the next video.